Hi everybody, we are still live on Prime Morning and we are currently at the Ghana Naval Base in 2nd D and we are having an incredible moment over here. We are on the GNS Cobra, which is the Ghana Navy ship Cobra, yes, and so it is time to have a conversation with the medical team and I'm going to get seated and we'll start the conversation, okay? So do join us. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So we want to be up close with understanding exactly what goes into the medicals of every single crew on board and also outside. Okay, so what are the things or the preparations that you go through, and then after you get on board, what goes on? So can you introduce yourselves to our viewers?
Thank you. I'm the senior medical officer on board.
Okay.
Lieutenant Commander Bernard Opokumreku.
Okay.
With me is
the nurse on board, Lance Corporal Miwekbo Abigail.
Now let's talk about preparations before you get on the ship. What do you do?
So give you a little intro. The Ghana Armed Forces has a medical unit, and the mission of the medical unit is to sustain the health of all personnel within the armed forces.
Okay.
And then the nation at large in collaboration with stakeholders. And so my duty here, being attached to the fleet, is to provide medical care for all personnel on board my ship, GNS Cobra. Before we sail, we have to make sure that all the personnel are in good health, both physically and mentally, because to sail is draining.
Yeah.
So before we embark on, we have to make sure they go through basic psychological assessment, and then you also speak to their families to make sure that all their families are well.
Okay.
And so when all is settled, then we can set the ball rolling.
Right.
We also have a shore facility where we draw our medical supplies from. Basically come from the mother unit, which is the Ghana Armed Forces Medical Services headquarters in Accra.
Okay.
And so we know the basic emergencies we encounter at sea, and so we get same supply so we can treat them whilst at sea.
Incredible. Now to my very beautiful nurse over here. Now, time is ripe, you are ready, you are set, and then you come on board. What then happens next?
Okay, like happened to those on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, some, when we are on board, some may feel dizzy, some can be vomiting.
Yeah.
Yes. So sometimes we give them medication to stop the vomiting. Yeah. Some they prefer maybe some peppery things, some carry toffee or Mentos along so that.
And does it always work?
Yes, it
Okay.
works. Yes.
I see. So you provide medication for them, for those that will be feeling nauseous and then all of that. Okay, so we haven't yet set sail, but I think I was beginning to feel that way. So whatever drug or pill you give them, I think you need to give me some as well.
We give you some.
Okay, so aside that, what would you say? I want you to narrate a scenario where there is an emergency, maybe amongst the crew or something. What do you do?
So usually there is a command officer on board the ship, and he is in charge of all our needs. And so anytime any personnel is sick, you need to speak to the commanding officer first.
Oh.
And then as a doctor, I assess the person, and then based on my assessment, I will advise the commanding officer as well. Let me give, for example, there was a time we went to see, the plan was to go for 48 hours, but unfortunately we met a ship bunkering, and the command officer communicated with the base, and that we're supposed to stand by, bring the ship to base. And a personnel had been vomiting for almost 72 hours.
What?
In that instance, you hydrate the person. It's all hydration, 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 because if you vomit for that long, the risk of your kidney shutting down becomes a bigger challenge.
Right.
So in that instance, it's hydration, hydration, hydration. Reassure the person, speak to the commanding officer. Unfortunately, after the 72 hours, he was still vomiting in spite of our intervention. We gave antiemetics, but it was still not working. In that instance, you need to speak to the commanding officer and he take the decision. Yes, I mean, it's medical emergency, so we need to come back to shore.
Yeah.
There are times if you assess the duration and it's not possible to get to shore in an expected time. I mean, aircraft are deployed in terms of heli to airlift the person. So it happened a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now let's go into worst case scenario. What would be the worst case, or what has been the worst case of emergency that you have recorded, and what did you have to do?
The worst case scenario is a man falling overboard.
What?
A man falling overboard. And so you somehow fall into the sea. And that is real emergency, because it's not just the waves against you. You are taking in water that is highly concentrated with salt. Your biochemical processes deranged. It gets into your lungs, you can't breathe well, you get hypoxic, and that hypoxia can in itself in a short while kill the person. And so it's to fall overboard or to fall into the sea is real emergency. We don't take lightly. We've had one or two, but we're able to get through with them. They made it. They made it.
The maximum that you would stay on board a ship or sail or to go on a mission, what's the maximum number of days?
You can't really tell, but for deployment to the oil fields, 21 days.
21 days.
But when you are going beyond the borders of Ghana, it sometimes go beyond a month.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, right. So now I want you to help us really understand. Okay, so the 21 days, after everything, and then you are coming back. Most of the times, are there any instances where maybe you haven't necessarily recorded any serious cases within that 21 days, but then upon your return, certain things do happen, or even after you have returned? Can you narrate, can you tell us any such?
Yes, I think it's so depressing staying at sea for 21 days.
Yes.
You don't get to speak to family.
Exactly.
Internet sometimes goes off and on. It's not stable. You can't have meaningful conversations. Sometimes you are called that your family is not doing well, and that can be so distressing. And the confines of the ship, you can't go beyond the confines of the ship. Sometimes you feel like stepping into the sea, but I mean, if you step in there, you are sinking.
Yeah.
So it's so depressing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the cases we've recorded is, I would probably say, it's a post-traumatic stress. You are traumatized at sea, you are dehydrated, I mean, just four corners, and it's so depressing.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of the key things we have.
Have you ever gotten to that point?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
Oh, about 3 months ago.
3 months ago. What happened?
Not able to call my family. My mom is not feeling well, so you'll be stressed out.
Yeah, so what did you do?
When
As
I
a
came
nurse?
back, okay, I have to psych myself. I know I'm on board, so those in the house, they will deal with it. When I come back, then I'll take over.
So after the 21 days and then you were coming back, what then happened?
It's joy.
Joy.
Yes.
You'll be happy you are coming to meet
When
your
you are coming
family.
back, it's joy.
Yeah.
And we have a clinical psychologist in the base. So anytime we come back, each and every personnel need to see the clinical psychologist to help them deal with that stress. A lot of the time, people may decide to stay away, but a lot of the time we get them to see the clinical psychologist too.
This is very incredible, and I'm ecstatic that we've had this very important part of the conversation, because we're about to set sail. This would be my first time. I think I was saying earlier that the farthest that I've gone is to be on a pontoon, and with that I got river sick, because it was on a river, not the sea. I got river sick, and so we're about to set sail. But what do you want to tell viewers? What do you want to tell your loved ones, your families that will be watching you before we set sail?
I want to say I love you, my wife, Mary Chester, and I'll forever love you and forever be grateful.
Oh.
Okay. I want to tell my friends and family I love them so much, especially my dear husband, Sergeant Zuma Vopo, Central Prison. So Yes.
I think I'm the only one who isn't married here, so I wouldn't have any special dedication to give my partner, but I'm just going to give a special one to my parents, to my siblings. I love you. I'm about to have a wonderful experience. We're about to have a wonderful experience on the GNS and Cobra, and so viewers, stay tuned with us. So I believe my rank is Lieutenant Commander.
You are a commander.
I'm a commander, all right, so...
on board the ship.
On board the ship, okay, I'm a commander.
Commander.
So... Lieutenant Commander Akomia. Should I say, is that
Yes.
right? Commander Akomia, because you use the surnames. So Commander Akomia, signing out for now, okay? Because we are still, Prime Morning is still ongoing and we are still about to have a very wonderful time. So stay with us. We'll be right back.